Majjhima Nikāya, number 31, Cūḷa Gosinga Sutta. Gosinga is a sāla forest, sāla tree forest. You know what is sāla tree, right? The sāla trees are the trees under which the Bodhisattva was born in the Lumbini Park. So, sāla tree has a very significant importance in relationship with the Buddhism. So, there were 3 monks living in this particular sāla forest, and in relation to these 3 monks, this sutta was taught by the Buddha, we can say. Or this sutta is based on the questions Buddha asked from these 3 monks. Yeah. Thus I have heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living at Nikāya in the brick house. Nikāya is a kind of a village. Once Buddha visited this village. When he visited, of course, he taught Dhamma to the people in the village. And people were very much pleased with the Buddha. They offered a small house made out of bricks. And after some time, with the other monks visiting, they built small quarters for those monks. And they built meditation places for meditation, especially places for walking meditation. Ultimately, around this small brick house, there was a big monastery was built. Yeah. Now this is what happened. In the traditional Buddhist countries, this is something normal. If there is a Bodhi tree in Sri Lanka, there is a temple. What happens is, when there is a Bodhi tree, a monk will go there and build a small hut and start living there. Then around this Bodhi tree and the monk's hut, the temple is naturally built up. In my area, in Colombo, there are 60 temples in one municipal council area. Can you believe that? 60 temples. If you throw a stone to the sky, that stone, there's a possibility that a stone will fall into a temple. Yeah. What happened is, the education centers, there were no much schools for monks those days. Only a few well-known schools for monks in Colombo. So the monks from the village areas, they came to Colombo to study, but they have no places to live. The temples are not enough. So what did they do was, they rented or some bought small houses for their education purposes. These houses they rented to stay later, with the time, became temples. This is what happened. Yeah. Other people donated pieces of lands, and they became big and became big temples. Even my temple was built like that. Yeah. I heard. Yeah. So anyway, this is what happened in the Nikāya also. They first offered a brick house. Then after some time, that around that brick house, a temple was built. Buddha was living in this temple. Then he heard a well-known 3 disciples, famous 3 disciples of the Buddha, Venerable Anuruddha, Venerable Nandiya, and Venerable Kimbila. Anuruddha, Nandiya, and Kimbila. These 3 venerables are living in this particular forest, maybe a pleasure park, not really a forest, maybe a pleasure park. These 3 monks were living there. So Buddha wanted to pay a visit. Normally when Buddha travels, monks will follow. Sometimes hundreds of monks follow. But this visit Buddha made alone. This forest park had a gate and had a gatekeeper to protect the park. When Buddha reached to this gate, the gatekeeper said what? Do not enter the park, recluse. There are 3 clansmen here seeking their own good. Do not disturb them. This is how the gatekeeper stopped the Buddha. Do not come and disturb these 3 clansmen who are seeking their own good. Right? So that is how the meditation is described here. Seeking their own good. Meditation is seeking your own good. Yeah? This is the gatekeeper's explanation of meditation. Seeking your own good. Do not disturb them. Why such a claim by a gatekeeper? Because I think he might have seen the recluses fighting over their opinions, views, and this recluse seems elderly one, and if he comes, the younger recluses in the park have to give their resting places. Only 3 resting places are there, and since this elderly looking recluse coming in, one of the 3 recluses in the park will be homeless today, right? So that is why, maybe because of this reason, this gatekeeper stopped the Buddha. He did not recognize the Buddha at all. He said, recluse, right? Don't enter. Let them live peacefully. You do not come and disturb their peacefulness. To whom this is said? To the Buddha, right? What happened is, Venerable Anuruddha heard the park keeper speaking to the Blessed One and told him, friend park keeper, do not keep the Blessed One out. It is our teacher, the Blessed One, who has come. So then Venerable Anuruddha, he did not immediately went to the Blessed One and, normally the tradition is when the teacher comes, the student cannot wait until teacher reach to you. You have to reach to the teacher first. If the teacher is carrying bags and luggage, you have to go and take the bags. Yeah, that is how you respect. Yeah. So but Venerable Anuruddha did not rush to the teacher, rush to the Buddha at once like that. What did he do was, he summoned the other 2 venerables, Venerable Nandiya and Venerable Kimbila. All 3 of them went to the Blessed One, took his alms bowl, outer robe, and prepare the seat, and another one set out water for washing the feet. This is one of the tradition, right? When a Buddha visited, or when a senior monk visited the junior monk, normally the junior monk offer a seat and also a bowl of water, a basin of water, for what? To wash the feet. Wash the feet. That is one of the tradition. Even now, even in I don't know other traditional Buddhist countries, but still even in Sri Lanka we still follow that. When a monk visits especially a house, right? Especially a house. When a monk visits, one method of receiving the monk is, before he enters the house, they wash the feet of the monk. Sometimes the monk, he do not walk much. He got down from the car and coming in, but still they wash the feet. Yeah, it is going on still. So this is the tradition. This is where tradition started. Buddha did not wear slippers. He was always barefooted. And wherever he goes, one way of receiving is giving a seat as well as washing the feet. You do not wash the feet. He washed the feet himself. You just provide the water. After washing the feet, Buddha sat down and asked the well-being and how the life is in the Gosinga sāla forest. Then Buddha asked, I hope, Anuruddha, that you are all living in concord with mutual appreciation, without disputing, blending like milk and water, observing each other with kindly eyes. This is how Buddha explains the way of living in harmony. What is the way of living in harmony? Mutual appreciation. Mutual appreciation. Without arguing, without disputing. Blending like milk and water. Milk and water. Once blended, you cannot separate. And observing each other with hateful eyes. Are you awake? With kindly eyes. Yeah? Testing. Surely, Venerable Sir, we are living in concord with mutual appreciation, without disputing, blending like milk and water, viewing each other with kindly eyes. But when Anuruddha, how do you live thus? Now this is an important part. Anuruddha, Venerable Anuruddha explains, how do they live in such a harmony? Right? Because Buddha's advice is, if you cannot find a suitable companion in your life to live, better live alone. Don't suffer. Right? If you don't find a good friend who will be the assistance to you in both manners, in the secular life to reach the goals, or in the spiritual life to reach the goals. If you cannot find a suitable partner, better live alone. Yeah? So Anuruddha, Venerable Anuruddha is explaining now how they are living in such a life which is like milk and water. Venerable Sir, as to that, I think thus, it is a gain for me. It is a great gain for me. that I am living with such companions in the holy life. That is how he thinks. This is a benefit. This is such a gain. Did I pronounce properly? Gain, G-A-I-N. Okay? It is such a gain for me to associate these people. Do you think about your people like that? It is such a gain, a benefit, an advantage for me to have these people around me. This is the first to have. The thinking. I am blessed to have these people around me. Do you think like that? That is the beginning point for the blessed, harmonious living. I am cursed having these people around me. Beginning itself, finish. Yeah? I maintain bodily acts of loving kindness towards those venerable ones, both openly and privately. Bodily acts of loving kindness. Yeah? It is different life to life. The second one, the third one. I maintain verbal acts of loving kindness. My words are with mettā, with love, towards them both openly and privately. I maintain mental acts of loving kindness towards them both openly and privately. You see, the mettā is not only for mental action, it is verbal as well as physical. Mental is just one part of it, single part of it. Now, if we think mettā is only for the mind, no, it is for the body also, right? It is for the words also. Yeah, kāyena vācā cittena, from the body, from the mind, from the words, that mettā should come out. I consider, why should I not set aside, this is the most important thing, you see, because of my love towards them, because of my mettā towards them, I consider, why should I not set aside what I wish to do and do what these venerable ones wish to do? Do you understand this? Why should I not set aside what I wish to do and do what these venerable ones wish to do? That means what? You give the priority to others with the mettā, with the love. They are more important than you. Then I set aside what I wish to do and do what these venerable ones wish to do. We are different in body, Venerable Sir, but one in mind. This is how we live like milk and water. Such a harmonious way of living. Such a friendly way of living. Venerable Nandi and Venerable Kimbila each spoke likewise. All these three venerables say the same thing. We give the priority to the other. And I wish to do what others wish to have, not what I wish to have. Then when you give the priority to the others all the time, what happened? Your selfishness vanishes, right? Pure selflessness comes up. Harmony. Yeah? This is very difficult to have such a people around us. But these are arahants. These are already arahants, right? Even among the arahants, can there be disputes? Cannot be, right? Cannot be. But somehow, Buddha appreciates this way of living. But I think even among the Arahants disputes can arise. Because of what? Past habits. Past habits are there. Dispute is there. Dispute is possible. Pride is not there. No pride. Past habits are there. Weaknesses are there. They do not understand each other properly, as the Buddha understands others. Right? We can see that in the Sutta itself. See. Then, good Anuruddha, I hope that you all abide diligent, ardent and resolute. Now Buddha's second one. First one, the harmonious life. Second one, your practice. How the Buddha questioned the practice. I hope that you all abide diligent, ardent, resolute. That means what? Altogether one meaning, mindful, aware. I hope you are all living with the awareness, with the mindfulness. Surely, Venerable Sir, we abide diligent, ardent and resolute. How do you abide thus? Now he explains. Venerable Sir, as to that, whichever of us returns first from the village with alms food, prepares the seeds, sets out the water for drinking and for washing, and puts the refuse bucket in its place. This is how he explains how they take dana, in the morning. All three of them do not go for their alms rounds at once. Why? They wake up. Once they wake up, they prepare the seeds, they wash their faces and morning routine. After that, they meditate. After the meditation, it is according to their wish to get up from the meditation, and they go for the alms round. So never go together. It is a separate visit, separate routine. Right? Separate alms round. Whoever comes first, what did they do? Whoever comes first, what does he do? He prepares the place. Right? Prepares the seeds, sets out the water for drinking and for washing, and puts the refuse bucket. What is the refuse bucket? The extra food to its place. Whichever of us returns last. Now the first one is to prepare. The one who came last eats any food left over if he wishes, otherwise he throws it away where there is no greenery or drops it into water where there is no life. Now this is not something you can accept, right? To throw away food where there is no greenery or drops it into water where there is no life. Do you know, still in some Buddhists, they are reluctant to eat the Buddha's food. Do you know that? What is the Buddha's food? The food you offer to the Buddha is the Buddha's food. Whatever you offer to the Buddha, it is better not to eat. I mean, those days, not now. Now help yourself. Those days it was not advisable. Why? That is the idea. When Buddha was getting older and older, this is the Theravada idea. Of course, Theravada idea is that those Arahants, as well as the Buddha, when they take food, the Devas, they add the divine essence, amutta, amurta, nectar to the food of the Buddha, especially to the food of the Buddha. Right? Now there is a sutta in the even in the overnight chanting. This sutta is coming in the Anguttara Nikāya. Anguttara Nikāya it is. In that sutta, what happened is that when Buddha was visiting a farmer, the farmers are, working in the paddy field. Buddha was visiting. Then the head of the farmers, this Brahmin said, Gautama, if you want food, you have to work in the paddy field. We give food only to those people who work in the paddy field, not for those people who just take the alms bowl and walk. Yeah. Then Buddha explains to him, I also have a paddy field and I am growing paddy. Yeah. It's a beautiful sutta. And after the Dhamma talk was given, first the Brahmin, this head of the farmers, he was reluctant to offer food, but after the Dhamma talk was given, he was ready to offer. Now Buddha is not ready to accept this food. Why? It is like he gave the Dhamma talk for food. Yeah? So Buddha said, no. Gata hi gitam me abhojane. After teaching the Dhamma, if you offer me, I am not ready to eat this. Yeah? We can have food after this, not today. Then the Brahmin asked, what shall I do with this food? The Buddha said, throw this food to a place where there are no any beings, any living beings, either onto a ground or onto the water, into the water. Then this Brahmin went to a place, he found a water without any living beings. He just threw that food to the water. When he threw the food to the water, the grains of rice started bursting. In the sutta it says, chittitayate, chittitayate. That is how the rice burst. Then he was really surprised and he came and told the Buddha, this is what happened. Yeah. What is the reason? The Devas have already added that nectar to the food. If a living being happens to eat this, cannot digest. He will die. That is why the food offered to the Arahants and the Buddhas are not supposed to be eaten by anyone. That's why they throw this food to the ground where there are no greenery, or to the water where there are no living beings. Yeah, that's fine. He puts away the seeds and water for drinking and washing. Now the one who finished last to came, and after finishing the eating, he puts away the refuse bucket after washing it, and he sweeps out the refectory. Refectory is the place where the monks eat, right? Whoever notices that the pots of water for drinking, washing or latrine are low or empty, takes care of them. Whoever sees that water in the necessary places are empty or less, then he will take care of them. There is no norm that this is the person who should bring water. Right? Whoever see them, they do it. If they are too heavy for him, he calls someone else by a signal of the hand. No talking. Just by the signal of the hand, he talks someone. He asks someone to help. He calls someone else by a signal of the hand, and they move it by joining hands. But because of this, we do not break out into speech. But every 5 days we sit together all night discussing the Dhamma. This is how we abide diligent, ardent and resolute. You see, very much little talk. They fulfill their own responsibilities. And maybe not talking at all. That is the way Buddha taught the monks to abide. Right? Dhammi va kata. If you talk only the Dhamma. Aryo tunhi bhava. Or else, noble silence. Noble silence. Talking less is good for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you are a monk or a nun or, talk less troubles. Talk much, less troubles. Much troubles. Yeah. Talking less is always to have a troubleless life. Yeah. While you abide this diligent, ardent and resolute, have you attained any supramundane state, a distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones, a comfortable abiding? Now Buddha asked, have you achieved any supramundane state? Now remember, these are already arahants. These are not practitioners. These are already arahants. Now Buddha is asking, while you are abiding like this silently, diligently, ardently, resolutely, practicing, have you attained any supramundane states? How many supramundane states we have? There are 5 jhanas, rupavachara jhanas, 5 fine material jhanas, 4 immaterial jhanas, and another one which is called sanya vedaita nirodha. That means when you get rid of the perception and feeling, samadhi without perception and feeling, that means you are a living dead body. Sanya vedaita nirodha. These are the 9 supramundane states an arahant can achieve. A meditator can achieve. A meditator. 5 rupavachara jhanas, 4 arupavachara jhanas, and sanya vedaita nirodha. Sanya vedaita nirodha. This the cessation of perception and feeling. Sanya vedaita nirodha. The cessation of perception and feeling. Yeah. Now, when Buddha asked whether they have achieved any of those supramundane states, Venerable Anuruddha started explaining. Now see, only Venerable Anuruddha talks. The rest keeping quiet. Why? He is the elder. Venerable Anuruddha is the elder one compared to the Venerable Kimbila and Nandiya. Right? Venerable Anuruddha is the elderly one. So that's why he is answering the questions. This is one other tradition among the monks. When a senior monk is speaking, junior monks don't talk. They keep quiet. Yeah. So Venerable Anuruddha explains the supramundane states. After this explanation happened, Buddha went off. Right? Once the Buddha went off, other 2 Venerable Nandiya and Kimbila asked him, you answered, Venerable Anuruddha, you answered on behalf of us. We have never told you that we have achieved these jhanas. Yeah? How do you know? Then Venerable Anuruddha said, when my mind is encompassing around what is happening around me, I can see. Then I saw what is happening in your mind also. It is kind of gossiping. No? I mean, checking others' mind, what is going on. It is, piracy. Yeah, these are. Yeah, you don't go and disturb others. Look at the other's mind. What is going on in his mind? Yeah, but these are arahants. Nothing to hide. Nothing to hide. Venerable Anuruddha is a person who can read others' mind. Even when Buddha was passing away, other monks don't know whether Buddha passed away or not, because he was lying down and achieving the jhanas. Step by step, going to the highest and going to the lowest, achieving the jhanas. That is how Buddha passed away, in the state of jhana. So monks thought he already passed away, but Venerable Anuruddha is the one who but the Bhagavan, the Blessed One, is still living. He is in this jhana now. He was the one who explained to the other monks that the Bhagavan, the Blessed One, was in the jhanas. He is not passed away yet. Yeah, because especially this sanya vedaita nirodha, the perception of, what is the translation? Cessation of perception and feeling. Do you know that, this one? Sanya vedaita nirodha. When an arahant who absorbed into this cessation of perception and feeling, he stays in that posture for 7 days. Yeah. For 7 days, he is like a living statue. You cannot burn his body. You cannot kill that body. You cannot do anything. Even you burn it, it doesn't burn. Right? Living statue. Many people misunderstood they are dead. These are dead bodies. These are dead. Because no breathing happens. No feeling, no perception. So misunderstanding happen as dead bodies. Right? Only after 7 days they wake up. That is a determined time. Determined time. Right? That determination is over, they get up. Once they get up, if someone happened to offer something to this arahant, result will be immediate. Immediate great result can be achieved. But for the one who offer anything to such an arahant. One day, Venerable Mahakāshyapa, he attained to this cessation of feeling and perception, sanya vedaita nirodha, and he sat down. And he 7 days he stayed like that. When he woke up, when he got up, he decided to go to a poor man's village, poor man's area of the town, to help a poor man. Yeah. Then what happened is, when the Sakra, the king of the gods, saw this, that Mahakāshyapa, Venerable Mahakāshyapa wanted to give an opportunity for a poor man. Sakra thought, no, I am going to take that opportunity. I am going to deceive Venerable Mahakāshyapa, and I will offer something to him as the first one. So he came with his wife to the earth, and in the guise of an old poor couple, they were waiting for Venerable Mahakāshyapa to come. So when he came, they took the alms bowl and offered him the food. Once the alms bowl was given and accepted, then only the divine fragrance started wafting from this food. When he checked, Venerable Mahakāshyapa, then he checked, who is these people? Then he found this is the king of the gods, the Sakra and the wife. Then he rebuked the sakra, you destroy a poor man's opportunity. This is not suitable for you to do such a thing. But the sakra, he doesn't care the scolding of the Venerable Mahakashapa anymore. He just jumped into the sky and started rejoicing, enjoying that I did such a merit today.
He extended his life.
No such thing. Gods cannot do merits. Cannot do merits. Once you are a deva, you are like in a treasury room. In a treasury room which is enclosed. You are not to develop anything there. You are just to enjoy what you have there. Once the treasury is over, you have to get out. Becoming devas are like that. Going into a treasury room and being locked up there. Or going to a nightclub and live there. Day in, day out, enjoyment. Many people wish to go there, I don't know why. Yeah. Human life is the most opportunity. Human life has a lot of possibilities, the opportunities, not like the devas. If a Buddha to arise in the world and you are a deva, you will have a little opportunity to get the Dhamma. They can become only Sotapanna. Maximum Sotapanna. Yeah. So these Arahants in this Gosinga sāla tree, they were enjoying the 5 jhanas, supramundane states of 5 jhanas. Actually 4 jhanas. What are the 4 jhanas? Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekaggata, Sahita, Patamajjhana. Vitakka is what? Initial application of your mind to the object. Bring your mind to the object. That is the initial application. And Vichara, sustain on that object. When you bring your mind to an object and sustaining there continuously, this is your practice. This is your practice of meditation. You bring your mind to the object and you be there. Whatever meditation, there are 40 objects of meditation in the samatha meditation. For the samatha, for the concentration, there are 40. Right? Well-known one is what? Breathing. The subtlest, most action happen in our body. The breathing. You know it or you don't know it, doesn't matter. You breathe. You never forget to do that. If you forget, you are finished. You cannot forget to breathe. You cannot afford to do that. You have to remember. This is the subtlemost action in our life. If you can bring your mind to this subtle touch of the breath and keep it there as long as possible, first you have to struggle. But one day you will get the benefit. You will get the practice part of your life. Then you can pay attention, you can feel the touch of the breath easily. Vitakka vichara. Bring the mind there, keep the mind there. That is the meditation. Whole meditation is that, nothing but that. Bring the mind to the object, keep the mind there as long as possible. Yeah. Our mind is attracting objects all the time. When I am talking, you can hear my voice. But are you just listening to my voice? Yes, you look like listening to my voice. But you might be thinking 1,001 things because your mind is being attracted to 1,001 things while you are doing one thing. While you are doing a single thing, your mind will be attracted to thousands of things. To the past, to the future, to all the things you see, to all the things you feel. Mind will be going haywire. Buddha says what? Bring the mind to the singularity. Keep the mind in a singularity. Have a single mind. Have a single mind in the sense, have a single object in the mind. Get rid of all the other objects. This is called vitarka vichara. Apply, sustain. Apply, sustain. This is what we can do. When you do this continuously, what happened? Miracles started happening. Within you, what happened? Piti. Joy happens. Happiness. Zest happens. Sukha. When your mind happy and joyful, naturally what happened? You are concentrated. If your mind is happy and if your mind is joyful, means what? Less thoughts. More thoughts means you are not happy. More thoughts means you are depressed, stressed, unhappy, sad. Less and less thoughts. More and more happy. So the concentration and happiness comes together. Now you no need to meditate in a normal day, general day. In a day you are so unhappy, you can yourself see that your mind goes haywire in that day. Thoughts, unnecessary, irrelevant, not wanted at all, thoughts arise. Depressing, stressful thoughts, sad memories, unfulfilled desires for the future. All these arise uncontrollably that day. That day you are sad. That day you are unconcentrated. So the concentration and happiness comes together. These things happen because of what? Because of your bringing your mind to the object and keeping the mind on that object longer and longer. Longer you can keep the mind on the object, happier you become, blissful you become. So this one can go deeper and deeper. When you go deeper and deeper, your mind becomes subtler and subtler. There are 4 steps in the suttas, Buddha says. Related to the form, first 4. Going beyond the form, discarding the form, you can achieve the formless jhana, that also 4. Any meditator can achieve this. But for a meditator who hasn't meditated in the past lives, who has no any past habits, it will be harder, it will take longer, but it is not impossible. So these are the jhanas the monks achieved, the 8 jhanas. What are they? 4 material or the fine material, 4 immaterial. We don't have time to explain all these 8, okay? But most of you know, right, already. And Buddha asked, are there any more? Are there any more to achieve you other than these 8 jhanas? Then Venerable Anuruddha says what? He says, yes, one more. That is the cessation of perception and feeling. Sanya Vedaita Nirodha. the cessation of perception and feeling. That is the highest, most jhana a meditator can enjoy. Right? We cannot hear that non-arahants, the people who are not arahants, have ever experienced this sanya vedaita nirodha, cessation of perception and feeling. We do not see much. Only the arahants experience this. Okay? But there is no, I cannot say that people who are not arahants cannot experience the cessation of perception and feeling. I cannot say that. Right? But in the suttas, in the Buddhism, we can find only the arahants enjoy the cessation of perception and feeling. You know the perception, right? Perceive. What is perceive? Recognizing, understanding. Yeah. Our understanding of the people, of the things around us, good or bad, based on what we understand. Based on as it is or based on our knowledge? Based on our knowledge. Based on our knowledge. Yeah? Now if you go to India or if you go to Sri Lanka, if you go to a country where Chinese people are not there much, they will understand you, they will see you and they will give their perceptions. Oh, Japanese, Koreans. Because they have seen Japanese before. Not Malaysian, Chinese. They will not see you as Chinese first if they haven't seen Chinese. That is their perception. Based on the perception, they understand. When I went to Korea, many people said, Indian? They understood me as an Indian. Right? Then I had to say, no, I'm Sri Lanka. Where is that? Some people haven't heard about Sri Lanka. Yeah, they don't know. It's a speck in the map. You cannot find Sri Lanka much there. Yeah, their perception is Indian people. Right? That is our perception. We have our background knowledge. Whatever we understand is not the genuine, authentic entity of that thing. We understand the things according to our background knowledge. So our understanding is not right all the time. Happen to become wrong most of the times. Right? Even a person, if you have a classmate in your olden days, when you were schooling, today you are a completely different person. But that classmate, if you happen to meet him that day, today, that classmate will understand you based on what? Based on the person who were in the class, not the person today. So his understanding about you today must be completely wrong, right? Because so much of time has passed by. Weeks, years, months gone by. You have been completely changed. How can he ever understand you based on the knowledge about you in the classroom 20, 30 years ago? But still that person will understand you as it is, as the knowledge on the class, in the class he has. Maybe you are a bully in the class those days. Who knows? Today you are a devotee here. But today is completely changed, a different person. But whenever those people happen to meet you, they remember the bully. Yeah, it is just the same to me. When I meet my relatives, I hardly meet them. If I happen to meet them, they remember the boy who used to play with their kids. Not the monk in the robe. They look at me like in that point of view. Forget about us. When the Buddha met his relatives for the first time, those relatives refused to bow down to the Buddha. Why? They also perceived the Buddha based on the knowledge about the prince who happened to be their cousin, the relative, the grandson, nephew. Based on that knowledge, they look at the Buddha and refuse to respect. Oh, this is the boy who used to hang around in our house, play around with our children. That is how they recognized. Our perception is not right, never right. Yeah? Perception is something supposed to get rid of with the awareness. The meditators, when they develop the awareness, the background knowledges, the background conditions are supposed to be removed. Then they will not look at anything based on the background conditions or knowledges. They will look at the things as they are. When Buddha met Angulimala, Buddha did not look at Angulimala with the knowledge he has about the Angulimala, the news he got about the Angulimala. Buddha never looked at Angulimala in that way. Buddha looked at Angulimala as a possibility to become an arahant. Not based on the 999 people he killed. Buddha is not conditioned by the conditions. He is not conditioned by the knowledges. He look at as it is. Yeah. Perception is removed. So this perception is not something we have already. When we were born, we had no perception. Perceptions are later created. With the birth, with the time pass by, perceptions are created. With the birth, we did not know. We are strangers to this world. Who came together to this world? Even the twins come one by one, not 12 by 2. They come alone. You come alone. Even the twins have elder one and the younger one. Minutes still have. Always we come alone and we come as strangers to this world. Who knew when you came here? Nobody knew. We got to know people after we came and we start possessing them. This is my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my started. Perception. Started creating these perceptions after we came. So we came as unconditioned possibilities. Enlightenment is going back to that unconditioned possibility. Going back home. Going back to the child who came into this world. That innocence. That childhood innocence is our inheritance. Going back there is the meditation. Sadhu.